In a world ensnared by manifold sins, gluttony, lust, and greed, behold, both faces of the same coin wage war for dominion over the throne of power, a crown not bestowed but wrested through strife. Then did the Grak Khan descend upon the earthly realms, proclaiming to sow seeds of peace and wisdom among men. Yet their hearts were veiled in deceit, for they sought to impose chains of unyielding surveillance and mastery over all peoples of the earth. Verily they thirsted to slaughter the innocent, to enslave the meek, and to seize absolute control. Then did the Grak Khan descend upon the earthly realms, proclaiming to sow seeds of peace and wisdom among men. Yet their hearts were veiled in deceit, for they sought to impose chains of unyielding surveillance and mastery over all peoples of the earth. Verily they thirsted to slaughter the innocent, to enslave the meek, and to seize absolute control. Doth the puritanical zeal of heaven truly mirror the schemes of the devil? Are they not two sides of the selfsame coin, forged in the fires of ambition? Thus unfoldeth the chronicle of lust, authoritarian yoke and avarice, revealed through the great contention betwixt heaven and hell.
This must be one of the warships from an alien race named the Grak Khan. They lost the war over the demon gods. Now they've come back to take over.
Hands behind your backs, now. Move, towards the building.
Please let us go.
Silence, keep moving. Inside, no delays.
Bitch, this mass surveillance sucks, Dick. They're tracking our messages on devices everywhere. Wait, what's this? An invitation? Meet me in their ground area. What is this place?
Before I let you in, is your phone switched off? We need to make sure before you enter so we don't get tracked.
Yes, it's off.
We are here to stop the Grak Khan's regime.
An underground cult of resistance?
We've been studying and documenting the Grak Khan for a long time. Now, let's go. Therefore, we have to fight fire with fire. So we've decided to resurrect the Archfiend as well as the demons put to rest by the Grak Khan. We need the demons to crush their party.
What the fuck? So basically we're gonna get some asshole demon god to fight against another asshole? Isn't that gonna fuck us all over? How does two wrongs make a right?
It's our only shot. We have to risk it.
I have awaked once more! 'Tis time to purge fair Mother Earth, that all may be mine own!
God stirred up animosity between Abimelech and the citizens of Shechem, so that they acted treacherously against Abimelech. Judges 9:23, NIV.
Where are we going, my knight in shining armor? We need to lock and load before we blast those demons away.
Hands where I can see them, you crazy satanic bitch! You're responsible for the demon invasion! What? No! We're trying to fight off the Grak Khan!
Hands behind your back, now!
Let go of me!
Move it. Don't resist.
You can't do this!
And it came to pass in the days of the wicked ruler Grak Khan that two women were taken captive for their transgressions against his throne, and they were sentenced to be encased in the frozen bonds of carbonate, as prisoners in everlasting slumber. Lo, after the span of 25 centuries had waxed and waned, behold, a solitary man, of his own accord, did creep into the depths of that forsaken prison. And he loosed the icy chains from every soul therein, yea, even the 2 maidens who had been bound in ancient judgment. And it came to pass that a woman called Herpi did break free from the bonds of her prison, and she leaped into the depths of the mighty waterfall, yet the Lord preserved her life through the perilous descent. But behold, her garments were drenched with the waters, and lo, a town of Victorian splendor lay nigh unto her, wherein she espied a woman of high estate emerging from her dwelling, arrayed in a flowing maxi dress. Now Herpi perceived that she was a fugitive in a land oppressed by tyrants, where the rulers governed as in a realm of iron vigilance, and the people dwelt under the shadow of fear. If she were to mingle among the throng undetected, how then might she subdue the noble woman in silence to snuff out her light, and claim her raiment as a veil of concealment? Alas, her guise was swiftly unveiled, for she lifted her voice in song within a tavern of the common folk. Therefore the guards and the slayers of the shadows pursued her with unrelenting fury, seeking her life, whether by the sword or in chains, dead or yet breathing.
Death dogs, eat her alive! Rip her stomach open!
And it came to pass that Herpi was slain by a lich of ancient evil, and his hounds from the abyss, their fangs tearing asunder her mortal form. But lo, was this the end for Herpi Bovia? Nay, for her lifeless body was borne away to a secret dungeon within the shadowed sanctuary, where cultists, vampires, and demonic hosts wrought their unholy rites and held captives in chains of despair. Behold, they laid her upon the altar of abomination, and through dark incantations they called forth her spirit from the void, restoring breath to her lungs and mending the wounds of her flesh. They stripped her bare of her raiment, and a foul demon with a tongue like a serpent's lash sought to defile her in the midst of the ritual. For this ceremony was ordained to transmute her into a vampire of full blood, with chants echoing through the gloom, circles of salt binding the powers, and acts of violation to seal the curse. Yet the designs of the wicked were thwarted, for she drank deep of the vampire's essence and claimed its might for her own. Instead of falling into eternal night, she arose as a Dhampir, half shadow and half light, and in her fury she rent the demons limb from limb, while the cultists fled in terror from the chamber. And she espied the garb of a vampiric warrior among the fallen, donning it as her own, and seized 2 blades forged in malice. With these she slew every fiend that lurked in the dungeon's depths, her wrath unquenchable. Thus was the story named Herpi the Vampire Warrior, Dhampir's Bloodlust.
Foolish huntress, I am the knight. No! Time to fuck shit up, bitches.
Now hear the parable woven into her tale. For hell is other people. Behold, that is but one face of the coin. The other face, which men oft overlook, is that heaven is each other. Hell is the isolation of the soul, the silence of unspoken hearts, the greed that devours for power, for wealth, for glory vain. But heaven, O children of dust, is simple yet grievous to attain. It is the bond of care for thy fellow beings, the mercy that unites where evil would divide.